don't know many other industries that do this. I talk to my clients about this quite often. The fact that we go to events technically with our competitors
and share everything.
And we share everything. They can't get their head around it.
Us as the MSPs, I think, making sure that we're really heavy on the compliance stuff. I guess really the worry is more for the end customer. I think it's quite scary because we're in the industry, we know the risks, and therefore we heavily invest in that area. But making sure that that's actually replicated into our customers can sometimes be a hard thing to sell.
It just blows my mind. We've been banging this drum for, I think it's nearly 10 years. People still don't take it seriously, especially CEOs in the board level.
The company is a reflection of the people that work in it. So if we don't allow them to grow, then the company's not growing, and I think that's really important.
Good afternoon. Austen Clark, host of NG Podcasts. I welcome you. We are here in Glasgow. We've just had our first day of our events, and we've had a superb day of content with some of our keynote speakers and the team here. What we're going to do today is we're going to take our next episode and lean back whilst we lean in, and I've been joined by three of my great colleagues here from Network Group, who I'm going to introduce. We're going to have a great conversation. We're going to find out about them. We're going to find out about what they think of Network Group. So, with no further ado, let's kick in. So, I'm going to introduce my three colleagues. So, jumping in, he's a little bit nervous here.
I'm not nervous, mate.
He's shaking.
It's about 50 million lights in my face.
The
Honestly, I feel like I'm walking into oncoming traffic.
Come on, Chris Gorman of Apex.
Yeah, so I'm Chris from Apex. We're based in Manchester, Salford Keys. We've been going for about 22 years now. Wow. Maybe two and a half, 3 years in Network Group.
Excellent. Mandeep.
Yeah, so I'm Mandeep Bains from Network Computing. We're based in Sevenoaks, just outside London, and we've been going a little bit longer actually. So we're coming up to I think 33 years in the business.
Jeez,
so yeah,
33 years.
Yeah,
Titans.
Titans.
You don't look that old.
Sorry?
You don't look that old.
Oh, thank you. So
When
yeah,
did you start?
so I wasn't the founder of the company. Andy Bush was the founder of the company, so he founded it. I came to work for him about 22 years ago, and we actually started when I met him. We were working out of his garage.
Excellent. All the best businesses start out of the garage.
Yeah.
Ron, which garage did you start out of? And please introduce yourself.
Not a garage, a flat. But I'm Ron Weatherup, founder of Lugo, and we've been going since 2003, so nearly 23 years now.
Fantastic.
Long time.
It's a long time. Excellent. So I know you all three. You've been great supporters of Network Group, although some may have not been in for many, many years. So just a little bit. So I'll start with Ron. Ron, how long have you been in Network Group, and what does it mean to you, and what have you got out of it?
So we hadn't been in any peer groups before Network Group, and we were going to some events that our vendors had put on, and I met other people that were in the Network Group, and they'd suggested you should maybe come along and see what it's all about. So we went to our first event, which was near Telford 8 or 9 years ago. At the time we were probably an MSP of about 10 people, and we were probably getting to the point where we were having sort of growing pains and all those sorts of issues. And it's probably quite lonely doing it on your own. So speaking to those people, they recommended coming to Network Group. I went to an event down in Telford, and then I joined up there and then.
Was it quite soon after you'd been to Telford you were actually a member?
Yeah, joined up immediately.
Immediately?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that from people. Mandeep, how did you get into this, and what does it mean to you?
I actually heard about Network Group through another member actually. So it was actually Chris and Dan from Apex. So we actually met.
Weatherup.
Yeah, we actually met at the MSP Growth Hub. So we did do a peer group beforehand, and that's how we became friends. And these guys had left. They'd sort of graduated, I'd say, from the peer group. So they had left, and they said, "Oh, actually, we want to stay in touch. Have you heard of Network Group?" No. So then Dan told me about it, and I think about a week later, I'm on a phone call with David Tulip, and I liked his energy, and we signed up.
And what do you get out of NG? What is the thing? What do you find? Is it Is it the deals? Is it subscription? Is it what drives it for you?
I actually didn't really know much about what I was signing up for. So the deals, all of the deals and stuff, I didn't really understand. And I remember my first event I came to, which I think I was on a table with you actually.
Yeah.
We were chatting, and he kept talking about this thing called TTG. I'm like, guys, what's TTG?
I know a lot of us still think TTG.
I don't know what TTG is.
Yeah. So I know a lot of acronyms in this industry, but TTG, and I think I spoke, it was either Michael or yourself. I'm like, what is this? And then someone explained to me, oh, you can get discounts, you can do all of this. So I didn't really know about that. It was more about being in the room with like-minded people, like being in the room with business owners. You were saying it's lonely. It can be lonely being a business owner. We all have similar challenges, and we're on different journeys, similar journeys but different times. Yeah. So we will talk about various things, and you're very good in the marketing area, so I'll bounce those ideas off of you, and that just really helps, and you can just save so much time by just talking to peers. And I do think I don't know many other industries that do this. I talk to my clients about this quite often, the fact that we go to events technically with our competitors.
And share everything.
And we share everything.
Amazing, isn't it?
But they can't get their head around it. And at first, I couldn't, but I thought, well, there's enough work out there for everybody. Yeah. So is there a problem with that? And we're in a tough industry. It's changing all the time.
Right, I hear you two were in a peer group. So Chris, you've been, how long has Apex been in network group?
Maybe nearly 3 years. I can't remember how we joined. I think that I saw the hype on like LinkedIn or something, and fear of missing out and all that sort of stuff. But again, I spoke to David the same as Ron, and it wasn't a sort of a high price point. I really liked what they were offering. The fact that with these structured quarterly meetings where we could meet up, and it wasn't always in the same place. So in other groups that we've been in, you got to go to a particular place, or it's less frequent or more frequent. So having a quarterly meeting that's sort of around the UK in different places, is an opportunity to go and see those places. Make new friends, make new sort of like business connections and stuff, and help each other out. And that's kind of what drew us to Network Group. What sort of keeps us here is, I guess, a bit more of the same. So the content is always relevant, it's always refreshing, and you're always meeting new faces. So you're listening to sort of new stories, and it's like one big friend group, really. You get to meet up every quarter, so that's kind of what's meant that we stay in the group.
We think, one of the things I hear from all these conversations, that people value the community spirit. It's that.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
It's like tonight we're going to go out for meals. You guys are going out for meals, and you'll sit around, you'll break bread. And I posted this on something that says it's a great way to break bread, drink beer, and talk shit. Yeah. And no apologies for that. But
you do talk shit.
I do talk shit. We all do. But it's a wonderful way because it actually gives you an opportunity to try things and actually in a safe space. It's a great environment to be.
Some of the best ideas come out.
Yeah, and over a beer or at the bar and stuff, which maybe sounds a bit cliche, but you do actually get a lot of content just by like having a beer with you guys at the bar, or like you said, people going out tonight, breaking bread and all that. So yeah, I mean the whole package that Network Group offers, I think, is what we're on board with.
I think formally the airline industry are really good at sharing problems they come up with in their industry, and I think it's the same. The people that get into IT businesses generally have had some sort of technical background, and they want to help people fix things. So I think the reason we have this community is because we like to help each other, and it's a great place to get together and do that.
It's an interesting point, Ron. I hadn't really thought of it that way. We're all in the industry to help, and we're dealing with issues and problems. And often they say, a problem shared is a problem halved, because you can get a second. Mandeep, you just said that there, that you share. I think you mentioned about the marketing. I mean, by the way, I bow to Apex's marketing, and you've got that massive poster. You still got it in the airport?
No, so they're like temporary things. So you can do like a 3 week or a number of week hit. So we did that. That was actually, I think we funded that through like Microsoft co-op funds. Right. So if these MDF funds that you can get from different vendors and stuff, including Microsoft and Pax8 and the like, You can get them involved to actually help with and support those sorts of marketing campaigns.
Do any of you use those kind of campaigns? I mean, this guy sounds as if he's...
We talk about it all the time, and we're terrible on the marketing side. It's organic growth for us.
Organic growth.
We've used lots of them, but again, it's useful to get together with the peers, because some people, like Microsoft, for example, or a distributor, want like their logo front and center, but there's other people that are not so worried about it, and they're just happy that if they help your success, that helps them succeed as well.
Yeah.
So in marketing, which let's have a delve into that one. We're all doing some form of marketing, and we're quite frankly, a lot of time we think we're terrible at marketing. But what marketing is working for you? What are you finding? Because it is changing around this. So what's working? What's not working?
It's difficult to say, but I think the key thing is that I think MSPs, they try to do a bit of everything, and it's a bit of a scattergun approach. So I think, it's more about like picking one or two things and just doing them consistently and well, that is going to get you success, rather than trying to do loads of things.
So give me an example of what you're doing.
I mean, we're doing lots of things, but I mean, we're quite lucky in that we actually have somebody dedicated to marketing in the business. So we have like quite a senior resource that's dedicated to the whole marketing piece, and we have like a dedicated budget to spend in that area. So things that we've done the things that are like not a flash in the pan as such, but the one-time event things. So advertising in the local area on billboards and stuff, and the airport, like you said. We do like cold sort of call outreach, so we use a third party for that. Historically, the data sort of shown us that I think it's like overwhelmingly the number of leads that we get via the website, is like that's 75% of our business. So ploughing money into the SEO and content, and making sure that the website is geared up, ready to receive all those and the right leads.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and then in-person events, inviting our existing customers along with new prospects.
So you invite along your prospects along with the existing clients, almost like
yeah.
Do either of you do any of that?
We don't. Like I said earlier on.
You've got so much business coming in, you don't need to do it.
I wish I did, but we're very fortunate that we work with some really good clients that do keep us super busy.
Right. These are big clients. These are good, big projects.
Projects. Just projects and existing clients. So we've been very fortunate, and word of mouth. So we do, all of our growth has been pretty much word of mouth. About a year or two ago, we started doing LinkedIn and various bits, but we're not doing it very well. We've done it more just to try and start getting the profile of the business up, and certainly it's a big driver for us over the next year. I'll tell you how good their marketing is they get leads in London and pass them to me. Like, that's how good. They're based in Manchester.
You pass the ones to Scotland.
They get leads from London. I'm like
I think. Look, we've all been around a long time, but we've got, like I said, we've got a dedicated resource, dedicated budget for it, and we've been doing loads of things for, a lot's been very recent, but we've been doing a lot of things over time, like the website. That has been in existence for a while. There's a lot of time and effort internally that a business partner's Dan has put into the website. A lot of these things, they're not like, you can't just like chuck money at it or like have it tomorrow. It's like, it's being consistent over a long period of time, and then that's when you start to reap the results.
It's an interesting one you say that consistency. I've known Ron for a few years, and Ron, I remember.
You're going to say I'm not consistent.
No,
not consistent. Inconsistent. Not consistent.
Ron came and knocked on my door 4 or 5, maybe 8 years ago.
Oh, maybe even longer.
And
yeah.
You were. I think I'm in north of Scotland, outside Aberdeenshire, which is a little bit more remote than Manchester and Sevenoaks.
Yeah.
So Ron, this guy knocked on the door, and I was in my office, and with a reception desk. Somebody came through. There's a guy here asking for you, and I'm going. He's a really tall guy, and I'm going. I don't know. So I comes through. His guy's standing there. He says, "Hi, it's Austen. I'm Ron," and I'm going. I don't. And you got. Over the time I've known you, Ron, you've been so consistent around the accountancy track. So that's a vertical market that you've developed over the years. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, probably prior to that. I mean, I studied accounting and finance at uni, which probably gave me a bit of an insight into the industry. And I suppose deep down, somewhere in here, I love spreadsheets. And
there's an accountant in
that makes
there.
me really boring. So.
But
the fact that we do IT and I love accountants, then it makes me really
super boring.
So you don't want to meet me at a party and ask me what I do.
Corner and all.
So we've looked after accountants for years. I initially started working for a Sage Accounting Centre, and I worked for them when Sage started their venture into the professional accountancy market, not just their bookkeeping commercial software. So we did that for ages, and I suppose got a lot of referrals and word of mouth, and it worked really well for us because we knew and understood the software, we knew and understood the industry, so we could speak in a language that they knew. When they would phone us up and ask for support, we would understand the sort of things they were saying. And that was really important. And because then we deal so much in that industry, we go to a lot of their industry events. So, for example, we partner with ICAS, the Institute of Chartered Accountants for Scotland, so we go to their events and we see...
Is that a useful thing to do, to go to these events? How does that work for you?
I think if you're going to support an industry, I think you have to commit to it, and you have to really go and get to know what's going on. It's also it's not just a good place to meet new customers, it's a great place to meet existing customers and understand what's going on in their industry and what affects them, so that you can help them as much as possible.
Do you guys do any of that?
Well, that's actually really interesting. So when I joined network computing, the client base that Andy had at the time all came about because he was a Sage dealer. So that's how he got his clients. And then he realised, well, actually, we're installing Sage, but they also need IT support. And back then it was break fix.
Yeah.
So that's how network computing really started and evolved.
So again, another technically a vertical.
Yeah.
You were going after a certain product stack. Yourselves, you do anything like that?
So more recently, we are looking. We have started to focus on like manufacturing. So we've got into like a local business community around with manufacturing companies, and we've also got manufacturing companies that we've currently been supporting for a number of years. So I wouldn't say that we're at the moment like targeting a specific vertical, but we are sort of trying to go after that like manufacturing sector, because we've had success or having success in that area over the years.
So it's interesting. We're speaking about these pain points around marketing. I'm going to move on a little bit. There's a couple of questions. So today we've had some real insightful conversations around. We saw some cyber attacks there with Huntress giving us this from Scott Riley. I found that really amazing, and it's really engaging. Here we have got Cyber UK. It's just across in the Hydro. It's literally around about a 5-minute walk from here. I don't know. How many do you reckon? A couple of thousand people at that event? What would be more? Yeah. And it's I think this is pretty much one of the premier cyber events in. We're hearing a lot around our own industry. Is there anything that's coming out that you hear about that either you're concerned about or you're interested in, or you think that our community needs to focus on? This new regulation that's coming up. Is that something that gives you guys something to consider?
I wouldn't. Go on, you.
I think us as the MSPs, I think making sure that we've got that sort of cyber essentials plus. Making sure that we're we've got those sort of ISO accreditations and really heavy on the compliance stuff. I guess really the worry is more for the end customer. So getting them to buy into Cyber Essentials and Cyber Essentials Plus. I think it's quite scary because we're in the industry, we know the risks, and therefore we heavily invest in that area. But making sure that that's actually replicated into our customers can sometimes be a hard thing to sell and get them to buy into the likes of like Cyber Essentials Plus. So it's going to be really risky for them, not really understanding our world and really investing money into cyber in general.
This is it's been a conversation piece I've had for many years. Is trying to get people to focus. So what are you guys? Is it still a big part of your delivery, Mandeep, Ron? Where are you?
Absolutely. I mean, we're trying to align all of our clients to Cyber Essentials as a minimum, and more controls than that. Just taking back what you said there. I mean, this new Is it legislation that's coming out?
Is it regulation or legislation?
I don't know.
I think it's regulation. I'm not sure. It's gone through the House of Lords at the present moment.
Which is great. This is what we need. But actually, we also have an issue in our industry, is that it should be regulated that if you're setting up as an IT company, managed service provider, you should have accreditations as a minimum. And you don't have to.
What would those be? What do you think they would look like?
It's got to be Cyber Essentials Plus as a minimum.
And even, like, it would be great if there was an MSP status for Cyber Essentials to say that you're capable of delivering that, like the Cyber Advisor scheme and things
Absolutely,
like that.
yeah. I mean, like, we're ISO 27001 and have been for quite a long time, and that holds a significant weight for our larger clients. It's so important for us. It costs us a lot of money to have, so obviously that has to be reflected in our delivery, but it also shows we're running a very good, tight ship. But not everybody does. So you can have, a new company that starts up tomorrow. They don't need any accreditations, and they can go and start advising customers. Now, you don't have that in other industries.
Well, if you're an accountant.
If you're an accountant or a solicitor.
Well, they do have a similar thing where they could have non-regulated accountants in their industry as well.
Oh, do they?
But again, if you go for a certified accountant or a chartered accountant, they have more kudos, and they're probably more of a trusted advisor. And I think the same thing will probably happen in our industry. But the regulation's been long coming, and we need it really.
Yeah, it's great it's coming, but I think the government really need to enforce this. I think one of the issues we also have is I still talk to clients or new clients when we take them on board that don't even know what Cyber Essentials is.
To me, this is just, it just blows my mind, the fact that we've been banging this drum for, I think it's nearly 10 years, at least, that I've been banging about cybersecurity. And there's still, to this day, people still don't take it seriously, especially CEOs. I still see in the board level not taking it seriously enough. Are you seeing that?
I think it's coming. I mean,
I think it's coming.
The Cyber Resilience Bill is going to make it so everybody that starts up a company loosely understands data protection and the fact that they need to protect it. But it's ultimately with the Cyber Resilience Bill, it's going to come and make it board level responsibility so that they understand. And I think, again, if you can layer that out with Cyber Essentials and people understand their assets, they understand their people, their data, and then they take responsibility for it, it's a good thing.
Good. Yeah. Good. So it actually takes me to my question. You just brought in there about people. And there's a whole stack around in the cybersecurity that people are still one of the pillars, which is the biggest problem. Stevie Ross was just speaking earlier about people and people in your organisation and having the right people in the right seat. And I'm pivoting here a little bit away from the cyber conversation, but I'm really interested to find out how other people are actually leading their teams and building their teams. I've been in the game for 28 years. In the past 2 years, I've moved away from being operational, and my business partner now runs the company. But I had to build a team behind that, along with Ali, and we built out a management team. So I use the framework called EOS Traction. I don't know if you guys... Yeah. And Stevie Ross was just speaking about today about getting the right people in the right seat. And then you have the right people in the wrong seat, so you work that one out, but also the wrong people in the right seat. So where are you with people management, and what are you doing? What's some of the skills that you use to lead your businesses?
That's loaded, wasn't it?
Yeah. What was the idea?
So I mean, I guess really anyone who's got like a line management responsibility, I think it's making sure it's consistent. So what do I mean by that? Making sure they're having regular one-to-ones, like regular check-ins on those people, having a structure to work from for like PDPs and reviews and things like that really help. But I think the difficulty is that not everybody can be managed in the same way. Everybody in terms of a manager has a different way of managing, and everybody who's being managed perhaps prefers to be managed in a different type of way. And I think it is very hard, especially when you've got new managers. So I think the key thing is just making sure you're giving people that opportunity. giving people that opportunity to grow and progress and supporting them. Let them make a mistake, help them correct it. Rather than that whole what do they call it? When you're like managing somebody.
Micromanaging.
Thank you.
Yay!
I knew we brought you along for something.
Sorry, I was absolutely no use there.
I'm looking for some help from my brothers over here.
Not a thing. Not a Twitter.
Let him sink.
Yeah, so I think that whole thing just doesn't work. You maybe collectively would get a good output from that. But that is not sustainable. That's not going to allow people to grow. I think you've got to give people a room to grow, and you've got to, coach around the side.
So how are you growing people in your team?
So the point you made there about getting people in the right seats, and I spent the last sort of 4 or 5 years doing that now. So I've actually built a really good senior leadership team, and empowering them to make those decisions.
That's a great word, empowering.
Yeah, and that's that's a change for me as well, because when we were smaller, I knew a lot that was going on in the business, but I'll just empower them to leave them to get on with stuff, and then they come to me if there's a problem. Or they need some support, and I won't always give them the answers, because I found I need them to think about the answers, otherwise they'll come back to me all the time. And they're very good in the terms of, they'll say, look, we've got this dilemma, I think we should do this. What do you think? And they're just sense checking that with me. And the other thing that we've done that helps, that they actually ask for, is we have a bi-weekly management meeting, senior leadership team, a really good set agenda set up by like the EOS traction, and that cadence has worked really well as well.
How long have you been doing that?
I would say, we were doing it monthly, and I think probably about 8 months ago, maybe 6 months ago, we changed it to every 2 weeks, because we were always overrunning. And then actually we were like, let's just it was their suggestion, let's change the cadence, let's do it every 2 weeks. And that's actually worked really well.
I like that idea you're saying that the team actually changed the cadence. It wasn't you changing it, it was actually the team doing that. Yourself, Ron?
It's really difficult. I think, we started off the business and it was just one of us, then two of us, and so on. And I think it needs to change. Like you say, all the people are individuals and they all need different things. But the important thing is that everyone continues to grow, including the leaders and MDs, CEOs, everything. They need to grow as well. In terms of the team growth, I like a book called The E-Myth Revisited, and it talks about the fact that the company is a reflection of the people that work in it. So if we don't allow them to grow, then the company's not growing, and I think that's really important, especially when you consider, we were talking about the cyber landscape a few minutes ago, and I think what we do as companies has changed significantly over the last 22, 23 years we've all been in business. Our clients used to phone us up and ask us, can you fix this, can you fix this? And now actually we need to comply with a lot of the governance and risk and things that our clients are concerned about. So it's changed, and it's not just about fixing things, it's about making sure they're robust and they're secure. And we have to train and make sure our teams are capable of that.
Yeah, you think we used to just put Norton antivirus, didn't we, on computers or McAfee many years ago?
Norton.
Was it WebRoot for a while? We've all been on that journey. But then you look at your stack now, and you're right, it has changed. Like, our offerings changed, the business has changed, and now with AI automation, it's changing even more so, and it will change again. And as IT professionals, our role is to ensure that we are cutting edge and we're helping our clients on that journey and using it ourselves.
I heard that term about bleeding edge. How bleeding do you want to be? It's a curious one. Final question. One we've been asking in every episode of this is about leadership. And we've got three capable, I'm taking myself out of that equation. We've got 3 very capable people running some very successful businesses. The question I've got is, are people natural leaders? And you can see them coming through your business, and you can see that person they've got a certain amount of charisma about them, people tend to follow. But there's also others who build that experience and that ability. Some of them have got not just natural, they actually go out and learn it. They take time, they take effort, they go and read. What's your opinion? Natural, or can you build them?
I think it's a bit of both.
Okay.
It depends on the person.
Right.
Yeah, I think you've got. I think if you've got people who you say are named natural leaders, they may not be good leaders. And I think over time,
that's an interesting point. I haven't heard that.
Yeah, I think you get better at it. I think I'm better today than I was this time last year, and the year before, because you're always. Well, I'm always trying to learn and get better at it. I don't know all the answers, and as the team gets bigger and things change, you've got to adapt. And actually, that's where network group and other peer groups are very good, because the snippets that you'll get, or the things that you'll learn from other people, and it can just be overhearing something during a session, or between a session, you hear somebody talking about something, you say, that's actually a brilliant idea, why are we not doing that? And when I've brought some of my leadership team to these events as well, they say they come away from any event we go to, you always come away with something, and it's probably not something that you thought you would come away from.
The golden nugget. I always kind of say. Yourselves, what do you think?
Well, I was going to go in the middle, and he jumped in. So, as in, like,
I am in the middle.
No. I agree completely. I think there's definitely some people that are perhaps got like maybe a natural ability that still needs to be coached, but then other people can learn it. And I think when you're talking about different people need to be led in different ways, there's opportunities for both camps. Somebody who's been taught versus somebody who perhaps has some natural qualities about being able to lead. But like Mandeep said, it's a learning curve for us. We're still learning. We haven't got it down to perfection. I think that's going to be very difficult. I think what's really important is that you try to be sort of self-aware. And what we were saying before around making sure that you're giving those people the opportunities and the room to sort of grow rather than like suffocating them.
Yeah. I absolutely. Ron?
Yeah, again, just probably reflect on what you're saying and agree with that. The only thing I would say that probably I maybe realise about myself is that I'm a better in-person leader than I am a remote leader. It's much, and as we grow and we become a larger organisation, it's harder to do that leading, or different. It's different to do it, and some people will be good at one and the other, and it's really important that the organisation are around you, and like EOS would tell you, is that you need to make sure that you've got a clear vision, and that everyone knows where your path is set, so that you're all going in the same direction.
And just building on that is where are we finding the next generation? And I've got two guys who've come into the leadership within the past year and a bit, and I was super impressed just giving them an opportunity to actually grow. There's a book I've read, which is, I've spoken about it on this podcast before, is Turn the Ship Around, and it's all about creating leaders rather than leader followers. Don't come to me and expect me to give the answers, which you just said, Mandeep. Is more leader stuff. I'll give you the opportunity to lead. You come and tell me where you're going to lead it to. Clarity of where we're going, but tell us how we're going to get there. So, any thoughts on where you're getting that next generation of talent?
I mean, I think like with a lot of the technologies that are out at the moment, everything feels like it's cutting edge. So I think you can't really go and like bring in external talent that have done it before, because it's all like brand new. So I think a lot of the success stories that we've had around making sure that we're creating internal opportunities to grow, so like through secondments, which then lead to promotions, like internal training opportunities, and then in terms of that's how you're bringing them through. And then on the other end, you're talking about maybe apprenticeship schemes, like linking with local colleges and local universities, and getting them out straight into an apprenticeship, or straight out of school straight into a job, and you sort of bringing three people up through the ranks. I think that's really important terms of developing.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
Because I mean, again, if you bring somebody in at a high level, all the people that are below, you kind of overlook the people there. They might have been with your organisation for a number of years, expecting an opportunity to step up. So really just trying to, it's not always possible, but in the main, bringing people up through the ranks, and then, giving the new people or the new people
Yeah,
into
so
the
you're not
industry.
just parachuting people in.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
yeah.
actually giving somebody an opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
I like that idea. Yourselves, Mandeep?
Yeah, promote within has been a big thing. We've been super successful with apprentices. Two of my senior leadership started as apprentices. My longest standing, I call apprentice now, senior engineer. I think he's been with me 11 years.
I'm still an apprentice after 11
I know,
years.
he's doing well. He's doing well.
Aren't we all?
Coming off his apprenticeship scheme soon.
So I've found, we've got a mix, but I've found that some of my A players have been through apprenticeships.
Yeah, and I think it's great as well because they come through, they're learning, you're teaching them, you're empowering them, but by the time they get to the point where they're ready for leadership, they know the culture, they know the organisation, and they're ready to run as soon as they hit the ground.
Yeah,
that's a great idea.
Yeah, we over the years, we've brought people in, at senior roles, and it just hasn't worked.
Yeah.
They come in with bad habits. You try to nurture that out of them, but then we've had some super successful ones as well that are still with me today. They've come in from other organisations and they just get it, and we've trained them in areas that we've needed to, and they've brought great ideas as well that we hadn't thought about. So I think you need that mix, but certainly promoting within is a huge thing.
That's a really good thing to hear. I'm super impressed with the honesty you've shown today on this podcast, and we're going to start wrapping up this now. We've getting to the witching hour. These guys are all dying to get out to go to their next meal and being wined and dined by some sponsors and
I'm
vendors.
going to Boom Battle Bar, so
you're going to
I'm not sure the Boom Battle Bar.
The Boom Battle Bar.
Yeah.
Any idea what that is?
Somebody's going to throw an axe
He's
at
going
you.
to throw an axe.
More than likely.
Throwing axes.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Well, it's been a really great conversation. I want to say a big thank you to Ron, Mandeep and Chris. Thank you very much. So just before we close off, how could the audience get in contact with you afterwards? What's the best way to get in contact? Chris, just speak to the camera and tell them how to get in contact.
If you really want to get in contact with me, then maybe LinkedIn, Chris Gorman, Apex Computing, or apexcomputing.co.uk.
Perfect, thank you. And Mandeep?
Yeah, mine would be the same. LinkedIn, Mandeep Bains, Network Computing. You'll find me on there.
Thanks. And Ron?
Yeah, likewise, LinkedIn's great. Ron Weatherup, Lugo.
Fantastic. Well, that's it for another episode here. We're in Glasgow. You can see the backdrop. We've got some of the cars flying on. It's 5:30 here, 5:40. I can't believe we've been able to...
You told us we'll be in the bar by 5:30.
You'll be in the bar. I do apologise. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to buy a round of drinks. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
No,
it's absolutely brilliant.
Thank you.
I would actually ask everybody, if you've enjoyed this conversation, please hit that subscribe button, the like, or leave us a comment. It is really important that we are getting your feedback as we grow this channel. We're about to take off for the evening. We're going to have some more entertainment later tomorrow night, where we have our black tie gala, award ceremony here in Glasgow. This is Network Group. Thanks very much. That's the site.